Hey, everybody. Let's see if we got my guest waiting in the wings here. Nope. So let's see. Yeah. All right. Well, I had invited Javier Alverez. He is one of the facilitators for the Christian Entrepreneur Network. All right. And he used to live in Houston, Texas. Now he lives in San Diego, California. Um, he does marketing for the Christian Entrepreneur Club and real estate transactions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to see if I can't get his attention. If not, I'll just have to talk to you. All right. Something happened with my podcast last week where it didn't record. That frustrated me. Let's see. But it was we'll have a follow up Friday. That actually is somebody, a prospective client. They're looking at starting a business and they have a nonprofit, and they're got a great story, faith-based story of being a cancer survivor and twice cancer survivor. And but then I waited and waited and waited for the recording and it never popped. So I don't know what's up with that. Let's see here. Let's see. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Get his attention here. If not, what can we talk about? I gave a speech last night at Toastmasters, and it went fairly well. And it was basically relating what I used to do. My first platoon in the SEAL teams, I was the assistant intel rep, which was interesting. What's going on in the Persian Gulf right now? I was in that region in 1988, and I would go through the primary intel rep would put together target folders with all the military message traffic, and then my job was to go through these target folders and analyze them and try to put together a brief on these different targets: Farsi Island, the Bandar Abbas shipyard. You probably heard a lot about that in the news lately. And the tank farm, and which is the that other island they're talking about that they just hit, and then the oil platforms, because the Iranians um, used to operate off the oil platforms out there in the Persian Gulf, and so I would have to brief the rest of the platoon. I put together a presentation and brief the guys in real English, right? And you know, they just wanted to, they're like, yeah, just tell me who I got to kill, right? And they would, that's like they just wanted to shoot something up and blow something up, right? So I would put together the presentation in simply as I could, so everybody could understand. And it seemed like, well, we did a lot of stuff about pertaining to Iran when I was at SEAL Team One. My last 2 years, we had an exercise, pre-deployment exercise, ORE, on a target, a compound that had like a rocket launchers and heavy equipment and radar dishes, and had these 3 cans of unknown gas on the target. And the it was a direct action mission, which means we should get online and shoot it up. I'm like, and we're wearing gas masks, but because of an experience I had on that deployment in the Persian Gulf, we had these new gas masks and they wanted to test them. And so we were in the magazine, which is a Conex box, and we're all wearing a gas mask, and they popped a CS grenade and threw it in the trash can. And some guys whose masks leaked jumped right out right away. And then the rest of us are all just sitting there like Darth Vader going, breathing, and realized that all of a sudden, it's like it happened to us all at the same time. It's like every pore in our body just opened up and screamed at the same time, and we run out of this Conex box with the tear gas and jumped over the side into the Persian Gulf, into the salt water. And it was like we jumped into hell. Every pore in our body opened up and just was on fire. It was just in the most intense, I mean, everywhere, right? It just was, and we're all just like, we're dying. And then all of a sudden it stopped. It's like our endorphins kicked in, and it just like, it's like, oh my God. That's why I know that even with enough CS, you don't, even with the gas mask, it'll kill you. It'll seep in through your pores. And so so that's why I knew this, right? So I'm going into the brief back. I'm like, listen, guys, we gotta use our own discipline not to shoot those cans of gas. And the 60 gunners are like, oh, I'm like, hey, listen, if this was real, we're supposed to train like it's real, and those were real, real gas, CS or mustard gas or sarin gas, you'd kill all of us. Okay, well, nobody shot those cans. Like, I was so proud of the guys after that. So but that happened to get in their head, okay, and make that point. Okay, so then I get into financial services, and this company I work for, I wrote so much business that first month for them. I wrote more business my first month with them than anybody else had done for the company in a year and a half, and they made me the manager. And they were feeding me leads. They had preset appointments. And my first appointment was a doctor and his wife. And so he's all excited. I'm going to help him, knock out that mortgage and get out of debt so he can save more money so he can retire sooner. And the wife's like, she handled the purse strings, right? She's like, you're going to take all my money. So I had to explain to them how the way we were a manager, the strategies we were going to use, paying the same they're already paying, we were going to get that debt paid off faster so they could start saving more money. And once I did that, my confidence went up. The company's confidence in me went up, and bang, and then I'm like, I need to get my real estate license. And so I started doing mortgages and real estate. And most of the people, and I did okay. Most of the people that I'd help get into a house, I'd first had helped them clean up their credit and lower their debt to income ratio to qualify. But there's a whole bunch of people in San Diego, California, that they're in houses that nobody else would have got them into. Right then, I find out about financial services. I'm like, I have all these people that I knew they're never going to pay their mortgage off. They're never going to be able to save enough to retire, and they be able to work the rest of their life. And now I was going to be able to help them. And I didn't really see the benefit to me other than I get referrals. And I got about 6 referrals. I made about 10 grand this month. I took this 26-year-old kid right out of college with a degree in communications on 40 appointments in 1 month. And, I got my $10,000 in my commissions, but he made $30,000. He got paid in 4 days. I'm like, what are you doing? And that's what got me started in financial services. But that I see that all the time, where he's got his money and his debt, and the wife's got her money and her debt, and neither two shall meet, or she handles all the finances, and somebody else gave a speech right after I did, saying that whoever controls the money is in control. And I'm like, oh wow, right? That was crazy. And I put on my comments to her, she proved my point, right? And because if I learned the hard way, if you're not talking to both decision makers, you're not going to get any business done. And you got to be able to work with both of them and get them both on the same page, and get them to see that if one doesn't understand, especially if they're the one that's carrying the checkbook around, you're going to have a challenge. So these are the things that I can talk about without having somebody else to bounce off of me. So with that said, we're going to call this a short one today. All right. I got another appointment coming up. Have a good day.